Hey everyone. Thanks for tuning in to our Star Citizen podcast. This is episode number 2. I'm Skills from the Skills Gaming Network, and I have with me today via Skype Dave from Day HD Gaming.
What's up?
Hey
Thanks
Dave.
for having me.
No problem. All right, well, today we will provide some links to our channels in the description. Plus, if you have annotations enabled, we'll also have those included in the video to subscribe or visit our channels.
So smart. So smart.
Thank you. Thank you. So, how's it going today?
Good.
That's
really good. You?
Pretty good.
I'm excited about this one, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't wait. And, well, today we're going to look at some fleet building and battling. So, the first question I have for you is, should the clan be responsible for the military, or should the players have their own ships and just have them ready for battle?
Okay, so an organization. I think myself, it just depends. It depends on what your organization's oriented with. Like if your organization's combat oriented, or battle, or maybe piracy, I would think that being in control, the organization having a say in what each player has would be ideal, just because just knowing what everyone has and building a really balanced fleet. But for traders or economy-based mining, whatever, I think letting the players have their own their own freedom in ships is the best way, simply because having that, like, being on your own, you're not going to be able to, if say I'm the organization leader, I'm not going to be able to see all the universe. Like if I had, say, 20 guys, they're out and about, they're going to figure it out themselves. They're going to know, find the mining nodes, they're going to find this, that, and the other, and they're going to know what ships and how to organize, or how to do it.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Okay, well, one thing I think about is like a small clan. I think the individuals should be responsible, just because they won't get the tax revenue from the big numbers, and then plus they'll need more diverse ships, like a cutlass that can serve dual purpose of militia or some trade or stuff like that. The large clans, I agree with you that the people should have some input, but I don't think that it should be all left up just to the players. Because, for instance, if you happen to leave it only up to the players, there's going to be like 50 constellations going out into battle.
Right, yeah. If that's what I'm saying, if it's battle you're worried about, ideally, and this isn't going to ever happen, but ideally you have a command sort of structure and guys in control of smaller groups, and being in control, I think, would be great, and having good communication. I could see pirates.
Right.
If you had a pirate company and you knew you had a small clan or even a big clan and knew what was in it and how to operate, yeah, you wouldn't have 50 Hornets.
Right.
You'd have if you balanced it, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like I think that like a balance between, like, the players have their ships, but like if you know your players are all going to have constellations and stuff like that, that's where your clan could take the initiative of, okay, we don't have enough fighters for if we happen to go to war or something. Yeah. We're not going to have enough fighters, so the clan can focus on just having, say, fighters in the community hangar, and then leave the medium-sized ships to the people in the clan to bring along, and then they can decide who wants to fly one of the fighters one day or whatnot.
Yeah, but in saying that, I'm just thinking to myself, like, the clan we're in is really trading and helping people out oriented. They're gonna have to tell guys, you guys got to get some fighters, because we have to defend ourselves, otherwise we're just gonna become a giant target.
Absolutely.
So it all depends on the situation, but I think the organization needs to be involved.
Right.
But well, especially if it's military. If it's not military, the organization needs to be involved, but let the players still figure out how to make money.
Oh yeah, like, and what I mean by like building a balanced fleet, like if it's a mercantile clan, the players just basically they do their own thing and figure out the best way for them to make money. And then maybe if you want to run like bigger dangerous missions, you put a message on the message boards and then just lay out certain roles that need to be done for that particular mission.
Right.
And then
buddies to help you.
Exactly. And then you can run that mission. I know for our clan, there's a lot of guys that want to be like fighters and do the escorting role, because we will need a lot of that. Because
you'll need it, because with a big clan and with the name, you're a target right away. So you do need to be powerful at the same time. So
right.
Yeah.
So, well, the next thing I want to look at is what the differences will be. So, for instance, you're responsible for a small clan of, say, 10 to 50.
Okay.
What do you see as a balanced fleet? Like to protect yourself and make money. Say you're kind of a mercantile type clan.
Yeah, well, everyone's gonna have to make money. Like, especially early game, I think everyone's gonna have to be a mix of both, or just piracy. But 10 to 50 sounds. I mean, 50 is a lot different to me than 10.
Yeah,
just
you're right.
My opinion. Like, building other games, having 10 guys, having 50 guys is a different story. But I'll go with 50s. Let's just say. It's hard to say, depending on how rich that group of 50 is. If this was my group, if we weren't really rich, then I would avoid having a big capital ship like, say, an Idris. But if we were doing well, I'd maybe only try to keep one.
Right.
And I wouldn't invest all my energy into that ship, because it's a target and I wouldn't want to be in trouble. But with a group that small, I would like to have, actually, it might seem weird, but a group of even 5 or 10 trackers, Hornet trackers.
Oh, okay.
A variant of that sort of, like a radar type ship, simply because I would stay out of danger.
Okay.
And that's if we're doing mining, we're economy based.
Right.
And we're trying to grow. I'd want those trackers, because I know like the Navy does that. They have, like, they'll have a carrier, an aircraft carrier, and they'll have huge like rings around it of buffer, just kind of especially if we had an Idris, letting them know what's coming. Then after that, I would have I'd tell my just everyone down lower, like the lower ranks, get cutlasses, get 10, 15 cutlasses.
Right.
I would want maybe 5 constellations, maybe not, like, I don't want, again, they're a great ship and they're multi-purpose, but they are, I think, a little on the expensive side, especially for the NPCs you have to hire.
Right.
And all that fuel and everything. And then I would maybe 1 or 2 like retaliators, or those, what is it, gladiator? Okay, yeah, the bombers. With the torpedoes.
Yeah.
Just for, I keep them in hangar in case we were in a fight or a war, we need them against other players' Idrises and stuff like that.
Right.
And then, yeah, maybe 1 Starfarer or 2 Starfarers that we could use for if we were mining for fuel. And
okay.
And then the rest, fighters.
Right.
But yeah, I really like that see them before they see you kind of space, buffer space.
Yeah, I like that. That's a very well balanced fleet. I went the other way.
Oh, okay.
I went completely opposite. No balance whatsoever.
Nice.
I like to fight battles on my own terms. Yeah. So that's why I like. So for something like this, it's gonna be fight or flight. That's it. Like.
Oh, okay.
So if I got the numbers and I know I can win the fight, I'll fight. If I don't, my ships are gonna be faster. I'll run away. So with the small clan, I'd focus on just having cutlasses. and it would be just everybody, like half the guys have cutlasses, maybe the other half have freelancers, like if we're like a trading or mercantile type exploring clan. Yeah, half the guys have cutlasses, half the guys have freelancers. And then if somebody blockades one of our good mines we have or something like that, we can just, everybody, we roll out all our cutlasses, get into the battle screen or whatever, and then see if we can win the battle. And if not, with the cutlasses, they got the extra maneuverability thrusters that seem to articulate. So it seems like they'll be really good for afterburners. So then you can use that to fly away if you're outmatched.
See, that sounds awesome, but my only thing is like, I'm trying to like think of it realistically, like how do we support that? And I guess with your freelancers that you can make money, or if you're mining and stuff like that. I just tried to build mine based on like, trying to grow.
Right.
50's still low, and 50's, I mean, 50's a lot, but 100 seems like, whoa, that's a lot bigger. Or even like there's organizations now with 600, 700.
Right.
That's a whole something back of work.
Well, also with your experience from doing large quest type games, or what's it called, dungeon whatever.
Raids. All the different MMOs and raided.
Yeah, some of those raids. Like I was thinking about that, like some of the problems, and the easiest thing to do for spaceship battling seems like the tactic of swarming, because that's it's pretty much like everybody for themselves, and you just kind of stay in a clump and then swarm.
It's gonna have to be. It's especially with a whole large group. It's
I think that's the easiest tactic. So, like, there'll be way better tactics out there, but it would require practice and good communication. But if there's a bunch of like say guys that don't play that often and don't get to practice, say, formations, it's just screw it, I'm just gonna go in, and if I kill 2 ships before I die, then I did my part.
Yeah. But even in saying that, more just day-to-day activities, like, hey man, you want to help me go to this planet and back me up and stuff like that.
Right.
You'll see that happening. I almost guarantee you. Like I've been in, like you bring that up, playing in some of the raids, 60, 40 man, and sometimes it can be absolute mayhem just because guys don't listen, or they're talking too much over the thing that everyone wants to say something. But if you had a good group of guys who just shut up, really, just shut up and listen. Yeah. You could kill in my opinion, you'd be able to kill a squad 2-to-1 easily if you just had good communication. Yes, I agree. Like the swarming type clan would get destroyed, because if you have an Idris and then well-protected layers, like you're saying, with your trackers out there, you know exactly how many are coming and then where they're coming from, so you can set up, hide behind your asteroid field or whatever like that. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But I like your idea, especially early on, like the first 25 guys. I like the way yours is built, where because try to tell somebody, hey, get in a tracker and just stay there. Like, it could be crappy. Like, everyone's gonna want to be Luke Skywalker. Yeah, like Death Star shot, but yeah, it's tough. I just figured mine would be the easiest to implement for cost effectiveness. Definitely. And then keeping people involved. But okay, well, moving on to a medium clan, and it can be considered large, like you said, because 50 is quite a bit of people. But if we got like 50 to say 150, what would your fleet kind of look like? Would it be similar to the small clan? What would change from the small to the medium? I think what would change mostly is my support ships. I think I would and fighters, maybe. I'd add a few more fighters than just running the equal amount of, to say, my cutlasses and, you know, freelancers. But I would have a few more support ships. And so what I mean by that is ships that are medics. Like, I assign guys. Okay, you're in Cutlass. We need you to be medics or salvage guys. I would definitely add in some like guys who ship parts and things like that. And I don't know all the jobs that are going to be there, but yeah, I would add more support in order to maintain that group. And I would just maybe, you know, even if it's a military organization, we would need, I would say, okay, what do we need in our fleet? Are we lacking with fighters and things like that?
Right.
But I would still keep that basic. It'd almost be even more important to have a bigger buffer, because by that time maybe we have 2 Idrises. You know, maybe we have, I don't know what's after an Idris. Maybe with 150 guys, that's a lot of people. Maybe we can afford something even bigger capital ships. So
okay,
the same thing but support.
All right. Well, this time I actually went more structure for the medium. I went more similar to yours.
Yeah.
So I figured, yeah, I would have an Idris, and then, like you said, Idris is a target. People see the big ship, they want to go out and try to destroy it. So
which could be a good thing for you and a tactic you can use, right?
Exactly.
Come get it. And
exactly.
Don't show your full force until they're engaging with big ship.
And then I'd have a bunch of constellations being fighter killers.
Yeah.
And then they would be surrounding the Idris, creating that buffer.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
And then those P-52s that come with the constellations. And so that takes up quite a few guys also if I had 10 constellations.
But you know what? My opinion, that P-52, if that's what you're going to use it for, just hire the NPCs for it. You don't want to lose a player in a little crappy...
Oh, that's a good point. I like that.
That's my opinion, because I would way rather see a player in a Cutlass or a Constellation pilot or even a Constellation turret or turret gunner. That P-52 is so crappy looking.
Right. Well, it could be quick. Hopefully it can distract them.
Yeah, it'll be definitely a good distraction. Well, with like 5 or 6 of those flying around, it'd be you got your work cut out for you. But
so with 10 constellations, you'd have 10 of those flying around.
It's awesome, yeah.
But I would like to so my dog fighters, if I could afford it, this is probably an expensive option, but I would go with the 350 racers. So like I would want that because they can, again, the speed, so I can fight on my terms. And so if all my fighters are extremely fast, I would try to spread out the enemy. So I'm just gonna go in and do that boom and zoom, right? Go in, shoot at them, fly away, and then
come chase me.
Exactly. Some might chase, some might go towards my big capital ship, and if I can get that separation, and if not all the fighters and bombers are all clumped together going just for the Idris, if I can spread some of them out, then the constellations should be able to wipe out a lot of their fighters fighters and bombers before they even get to the Idris.
Yeah.
And then my 350s can keep just strafing back and forth.
That's smart. That's an interesting tactic. I'm not sure if it'll work.
Yeah, who knows?
Just because I worry about the 350 being an extremely big missile target and being hard to just being easy to be locked onto because it's such a huge heat signature. That's the only thing I worry about.
Right.
And not like, yeah. But it's an interesting tactic for sure. Until I see how the fighters behave.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to, I could say, oh, I'll just Hornets, but there's a new F8 coming out. There's all these new fast ones, so I'm not gonna
exactly
say
like
until
that.
I know. But
that F8,
cool. Yeah, maybe the F8, right?
Looks good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now looking at large, so 150 plus.
150 plus.
And so 150 plus for maintaining the fleet. Like this is where I would include like starfarers and lots of support ships.
You have to.
And then
you go first. You tell me what you got.
But yeah, I would have like a again, I'd probably stick to 1 or 2 Idrises because, like, depending on the instancing, and this is a whole nother topic we'll probably do in another podcast next. But depending on how big the instance will be and how many people are allowed into the battle, maybe multiple Idrises might be a detriment.
Yeah, right. Because he said, what does he say? 100 in an instance. So, and really, like, I was trying to think about Idrises. Like, what do you use them for? Other than a main focal point to a battle, or there's like the what is it called? There's another big carrier. Oh, it's like a destroyer or something like that, right?
Right.
Like the Idris seems more it'd be great for big trading companies and things like that as a main ship. But if we're talking about battles, that's a whole different. I don't think having multiple Idris is a good thing either.
Well, if you're not fighting any large ships, it's not that great because all the guns and everything on it, the turrets and the rail gun, it's all focused towards other larger ships.
Right, and having how many guys does it take to operate all those?
Right.
Either you're hiring NPCs or you've got your own players.
Well,
I would rather them in real players.
You only need 10 people, actually.
Okay.
Because there's 7 turrets and then 3 hornets on board, so maybe
11.
Right. So maybe 13. Some logistics and radar stuff and.
But here's a question: would you sacrifice? Would you prefer 7 guys on turrets over 7 hornets in the air? In space?
And again, it depends on what we're battling against.
It depends. It all depends.
If they've got a bunch of retaliators, like some decent bombers, I might want to try to hit them with the Idris's turrets because those are capital ship destroying turrets. And even though the retaliator's not a capital ship, it's a fairly big bomber.
Yeah, it's big.
So you might actually be able to hit it with the big guns, and it's slow, and you don't want the retaliator to get anywhere near you because it'll blow the Idris up.
Right. So if going back to the question, if it was a trading organization, I'd still still have a balanced fleet with. I'd be more towards obviously the trading side. I'd have a lot more starfares, and I would encourage my own guys to say, hey, get some freelancers, get the big car, get some caterpillars. And if you're not doing anything and you've got some downtime, do your own runs. But with the big organization, say it's 500 guys, right?
Right.
You could never say to everybody, this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing, and you never use any other ship.
Right.
There's going to be so much downtime for those guys that maybe say that to them and say, when the time comes that I call on you, I need you to have this ship and request you to have these ships. But otherwise, let them do their own thing because it's just too many people other than a small group. But what I would add to a group like that is I would have a dedicated fighter squadron, my best guys.
Right.
And I'd have a dedicated medic group, and I would make designations that are keep guys more engaged in their single job, groups of them, and want to apply for different jobs. That's what I would change.
And for that, like your dedicated fighters, they'll be the guys escorting your trade missions and all that stuff. So they'll have their own fighters kitted out the way they want.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing the clan would have to buy would be the militaristic retaliators. Those types of ships that aren't really useful. Like unless it's easy to swap out the capital ship torpedo for some cargo, unless that's cheap and easy to do. But there'll be other ships that'll do that stuff better than the retaliator. So I just have the clan purchase a bunch of those military only ships and then leave them in the hangars for when we need to bust through a blockade or defend ourselves against something.
And that works on both a military organization and a trading organization. More so for trading, but even military, right? You're right. having those crazy ships that don't get used that often, bombers, long-range bombers and stuff, that's a great idea. Have them ready to go and have guys ready to use them, trained on them.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And
me too. We could talk about this for hours. I
know. It's already been over 20 minutes here, so we should probably wrap it up. But I think this will lead into our next podcast. We should take a look at instances and a more in-depth look on how many people will be actually in an instance, and then what tactics might be involved. If the instance is really big or really small, it'll completely change. Yeah,
it's definitely something to think in the future for sure. Yeah, we'll look at that. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks for showing up there, Day. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. As I said before, we will have annotations with links to our pages, and also we'll have in our description, we'll have a link to our channels there too. All right, thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you later.
See ya.